And we're back with the follow-up podcast and looking at Exodus, looking at, really, we're rounding in on the end of Exodus. I think next week is the last chapter. We'll do chapter 40 next week. But this is a real statement. It's finally Moses gets to get this out, get this said to the people, the stuff that he's received down up on the mountain, and now he's able to. He's done the restoration, and now he's going to tell them about
explaining it. Yeah, explaining
the work, the substance, and all that. Because really, this last week it went from 35 to 39. It's really 4 chapters covered.
Right, and some of that is because of the overlap between this section that we've been in, and then some of the previous sections. Because what the previous sections would be like explaining. Here's how you're going to build it, and then this section's at the end. We built it. Okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool. It's like a checklist, and you can actually just go down it, and then you've got verses that say, we did that, all those things.
The checklist.
Yeah, the checklist.
Are there any blanks on the checklist?
There are some adapting to the reality of putting something into place. So, but the command is still there, and it's still served. It's just how exactly it's served.
Oh, okay. So like you're working with like an engineer's drawing. Yeah. And then what? It didn't fit, and they had to trim this.
It fit. It's just how they chose to fulfill the requirements of that. They chose a specific way to do it. Not so much a difference, but more of a how implement it. But I thought it was really cool.
And implementation.
That a work-related sermon or section of scripture came up from our plan from months ago.
Just happens
on Labor Day weekend.
That it came on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. And if you're thinking about working and what kind of God, has work, he's kind of the management end of this thing, and what God's relationship is to work, then that's all over this. I would say it's a large part of God revealing his character in the moment of asking his people to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even opening up his instructions about all of the tabernacle contribution and building and all this, opening that up with the Sabbath.
Right.
So is there a rhyme or a reason to the Sabbath seems to come up like not just one time. Oh, it comes up over and over again.
Not only does it
through
come
the
up,
whole book of Exodus,
it comes up with gusto, with strength. Because like this, it's all of 3 verses long, and it says, anyone who does any work on the Sabbath shall be put to death.
Right.
I mean, that's how serious it is right out of the gate.
Like, very, very pointed, yeah. And then just a couple of chapters earlier, we have the same Sabbath regulations being reiterated in, like, chapter 31, and just all the way back to, as far back as you can go in the book of Exodus. I'm trying to think, when was the first time that they had to keep some kind of Sabbath? It's like chapter 13 thereabouts. So kind of leaning into it. Trying to think.
Well, in a way, it was a the whole Sabbath rest was. I thought it was instituted in before that.
Well, you do have.
You have the example of
the
God
creation story where God rested.
Yeah.
But when does it become now you need to rest too? I don't even think it's in the
first mention of the Sabbath in the Bible. I'm.
Well, you have the bread from heaven thing, right? Where the manna comes down.
Yeah.
And they're told not to gather on a certain day.
Right. And it's called the Sabbath day, isn't it?
Yeah.
At that point. Yeah. So the notion of a seventh day or a Sabbath day was known. And there was the prohibition against gathering. Yeah.
Yeah. Chapter 16.
Right.
Looks like one of the first mentions. So this has been a part of their journey.
Oh yeah.
Like the whole time.
Yeah. It's been it's more detailed here. It's detailed in some of the ones that Moses got from God about, do no work and don't have your servants do work and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of laid out.
So the implications of the initial idea are unfolding as we go through the book of Exodus.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this actually adds a kindle no fire being in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's an additional, this is how that applies to your
Did you know today, or for a long time actually,
Uh-huh.
there have been ovens that you can buy that are Jewish ovens that you can program or set timers on the day before so that they will come on when you want them. So I didn't kindle the fire. I didn't touch it.
That's still a thing.
Oh yeah.
So all my appliances in my house, if you go read like the manual, it says like Sabbath mode.
It has a Sabbath mode.
Like my fridge, I don't even know what you'd have to do with it for a fridge, but my fridge has a Sabbath mode.
Really?
And my oven has a Sabbath mode.
What is a Sabbath mode on a fridge?
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, I read the manual, but I don't remember much of it.
Sure.
I was like, oh, does not apply.
Okay. Yeah. So that's still a thing.
Yeah.
Even today.
Yeah, you can find it.
As a result of this.
Yep.
Wow. So check your appliances. There may be a Sabbath mode on there.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was really good. On a chapter where God goes into all this work that needs to be done, he begins with talking about rest from the get-go.
Yeah. Why? Why is that? Why is that how he starts off that conversation?
Oh, I gotta see the character of God, knowing the character of man, and that mankind would work themselves to death, or other people would work each other to death. There would be some kind of a push, particularly with something like this, where you're working not for even your own gain, you're working for something so much higher, for maybe even pleasing God, and he's differentiating himself from the way idol worshipers do.
Right.
They go, this is for the deity, this is for the God, so you gotta burn yourself out.
Well, something goes wrong, and the very first thing that they would assume would be something along the lines of, we must not have done enough.
Yeah.
We must not have done enough to please our deity. That's why this went wrong.
Right,
kind of
right.
The default.
Oh, it's a terrific out when you have a capricious deity that you could blame whatever problems on, and then go Hunting through the population to go, okay, you're the one. You slacked off in your work. That's why that's why the crop failed. That's why the invaders came. That's why the disease was here, because you did something imperfect. As far as this, you didn't give everything that you could have given. It's just, it's a cop out.
The idea that you have to accomplish something in order to please God and your own strength and your own ability.
Well, that's works-based religion. That's what we find in every other religion in the world, is a way in which you can manipulate God, twist his arm behind his back, whatever term you want to use, to force them to let you into heaven, to force you into giving whatever blessing there is. If I can manipulate energies and stones and prayers and effort, and it's gotten to the place where people whip themselves to death, harm themselves or harm other people, a human sacrifice, trying to control God and thereby make themselves their own God.
Yeah, and I would even go so far as, because I know you said with other religions, I would be confrontational enough to say that even within the broad label of Christianity, there are people who are there are systems that still believe that if you can do enough, then God has to accept you.
Yeah, you don't need to relate to God, you don't need to understand God, or in terms of having a heart-to-heart connection with God, you just need to do all the things, whatever it is. That definitely shows up.
There are plenty
under
of systems.
idea of Christianity.
I can obtain some grace if I do these things. Yeah, and then these are the things I do, or maintain my relationship with God by if I conform to the list of things that need to be done.
Oh, for sure. Works-based religion, not that good works wouldn't come out of a life connected to God. Through Christ, to the designer of your soul. You would just come to a place where you would understand more about how God works, and so you would do things that God would do. That's just a part of the equation. Yep. Oh, we have somebody coming. Oh, it's Marcia.
Oh, hey, Marcia.
Okay. Howdy.
We're in the middle of a podcast.
You want to join us?
You're on camera.
You'll be on candid camera here. Okay. All right. Just letting you know. Oh, that's fine. Yeah. We've decided to make it a part of the show. When people come in, we just talk to them.
Are you really seriously talking to me on the podcast?
Yeah.
Well, then I'll come
but you haven't been seen yet. We're more than welcome.
There's still time to get out.
This is Marcia, our bookkeeper. So look at that camera right there.
Where's the camera?
Right there.
Hi.
So
There I am.
okay.
I am working.
Okay. All right. And we are too.
We
after
are
a
too,
fashion.
but we are talking about rest over here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we were at like,
Sabbath, and then
systems of trying to
please God.
please God, justify yourself.
Like
all
he's
that.
some kind of a taskmaster who's up here going, you know, work harder, you fool, you know, that kind of thing.
Right. We during the sermon, you talked about like rest was important for like recuperating, a little bit of like reflection and those kind of things. What is spiritually important about the Sabbath? Versus just physically, we need rest. What is spiritually important about the Sabbath?
I think you have to look within. I mean, so I described it as having two aspects. Simple rest the body, rest the mind.
Take a nap.
You can look at the past, you can look at the future, you can look at where you are, all those kinds of things. But it says a solemn rest. And so I think the other place you have to look is you have to look within. As a part of it. So reading the Word, coming before God in prayer, all those things, they touch on the things that are deep within the soul and shine light in places that you may not have time to look at if you're just running after work all the time. So the Word reveals what's going on in the soul.
So whatever externals we've done, we haven't done Sabbath rest until we've looked on the inside.
Oh, that's a good point.
Taken some
yeah,
reflection.
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there is a call to do that as a part of Sabbath rest.
Reflection.
And that's why we have church on a common day of rest in the body of Christ, and that is so that church is designed both through corporate worship, corporate singing, corporate getting into the Word, that we have a common thing that gets emerged, presented in the group, and it's supposed to knock around in our soul, and it's going to do the same thing to your neighbor, and then you can have a conversation about it, and then you can grow as a result of the. So, like, I can't remember what it was. I came home from preaching one week, and there was some phrase that I used that really struck with my family, and we started batting it around throughout the day, you know, jokingly, but also understanding it as well.
Yeah, and even that's part of really beginning to embrace it is being able to relate whatever that is that you've learned, not just to, all serious, but some humor and some other pieces of it. The whole person, the Word of God gets into.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I also think of Jesus and the disciples, for the Last Supper. The very same thing that they did during the supper was internal examination. Is it us?
Oh, man.
That's the question that they're asking. And it's a kind of in a similar way confronted with the reality of my heart.
Quite literally the Word speaking to them.
Right in front of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we talk about rest, and I know a lot of this is overlap and is things we've covered before because the text does that in Exodus.
The Bible is repetitive because that is a very effective way of getting to the heart.
Are you saying we need to hear things more than once?
I think so.
Sometimes you need a reminder.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, what's the difference between giving generously versus giving according to regulations? Because on Sunday, you brought out the fact that the people were giving as much as they could or as much as they needed. It was a totally different thing. It was, here's what we need, and then the people just gave.
Sure.
So what's the difference between giving from the heart versus giving according to regulations?
I think we know that. I think we internally know that. If somebody just says, all right, you are family number or person number, 342, you're due, 5 pounds of wheat, something like that.
Some churches, like I think especially the Mormon church, they actually send you, I've never received one because I've never been a part.
Okay.
So if you're Mormon listening and you hear this, correct me or whatever.
Okay.
But I think they send you a bill.
A bill?
For like your monthly tithe or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I think they actually send you a bill.
You can let me a bill.
Yeah.
So you owe a debt, is what they're basically saying.
I don't know. I don't know how they feel about it, but that's a thing that I've heard that they do.
So conceivably, there could be a situation where you owe a debt.
Oh, you owe
and
back tithes.
And you get into arrears, and they turn you over to a collections company.
I don't know.
And you're now getting phone calls. I'd like to talk to you about your debt.
That'd be wild.
To the church.
I have no idea.
That'd be wild.
But like even in Europe, that was actually a norm.
Right.
Like the state taxes kind of sponsored some of that too.
Okay, yeah. I got that. But at that time, medieval Europe, Western culture, the church was a part of the government.
Wild.
Yeah.
Like American brain over here, like still trying to collect.
No.
How that works.
The church served an almost judicial function.
Yeah.
That was where things were tried and judged and worked through.
Yeah. Okay. So that's giving according to regulations.
Okay.
As solid as I could get it. You're getting billed for the month, or your taxes are going towards the church.
Yeah.
But what is the difference between that and giving according to your heart?
I think from the heart, you have to do that self-reflection. You have to go, God, what are you asking me to give? I mean, we could quibble about bills from a church or whatever, or even the number 10%. The word tithe means 10%.
Big deal out of that number.
Yeah. And there have been other denominations who have had as high as 30% that they preach as, that's what is due to the church.
Wow.
And I remember one denomination. But anyhow, the concept, particularly within Protestant teaching that is faithful to the Word, I would say, is that everything we have belongs to God. Right. We are stewards.
Right.
And so you come to look at earthly possessions not from the framework of this is what I have to do to buy my good graces with the church or with God or with whoever. This is you're asking God, Lord, what are you asking me? How are you asking me to participate in the expression of your kingdom here on earth? And that may mean that your money goes to a specific mission or specific local outreach or literally helping somebody in your next door neighbor. You're literally helping them. Mm-hmm. All those things can be ways that God asks you to give. Now, we look at the local church, and if you see God's work being done through that local church, then giving to its support increases that usage of those things within the community to your neighbors and all those kinds of things. So there can be a conduit that does outreach in a way that an individual can't. Mm-hmm. And so
some organization to it.
Yeah, it goes back to that solemn Sabbath where you're looking within and it has a lot to do with not making money your idol and basically putting it in its proper place and recognizing I'm a steward of what God has given me.
So maybe I was dense on Sunday. And I didn't get it. Right now, I'm getting it.
Oh, okay.
The Sabbath is mentioned right before the contributions.
True.
Like they were supposed to take that reflection before they were to go and give. Whoa.
Okay, or be an ongoing process.
It's in the text. That settles it for me. That's helpful. Wow.
Well, good.
Yeah, I didn't even see that like on Sunday. The connection between internal reflection.
I maybe didn't make that as strongly, but it's there.
Wow. That's
contribution is, and really contribution in the work is presented as a form of worship. Mm-hmm. It's a form of honoring the covenant between the people and God. It's honoring the glory of His name, and it's honoring the presence that God. Because a big part of this is God saying, "I'm going to be with you," because He said that in the previous 2 chapters. And this is how He's going to be with me. How they're going to literally carry the tabernacle with them as they move around. Mm-hmm.
Now I know we mentioned this in the review. We talked about ways to give in the review. And the most common thing that a person usually thinks when they think of how do I give, they think of money first. Mm-hmm. But what are ways to give that have nothing to do with money? Oh. Just set that aside. Because these guys are building a tabernacle out of all kinds of stuff. And most of it's not money.
Yeah.
Most of it's not.
I mean, skill and labor. You could say time is money, and even though they're spending time. But there's also effort that they're putting into it. those are all ways that you can give. I look at this and go, this was very much an equalizer. So it wasn't just the wealthy, it wasn't just those with possessions, it was everybody could lend a hand, do their part, and be a part of this project. Nobody was excluded. And then God would not only call them to that work, but that he would give them the ability. So there was a special blessing of the Holy Spirit among all the craftsmen to be able to do exceptional work.
God hasn't given me this, therefore I'm exempt. The way
sure.
a guy could look at it,
Yeah.
but then, okay, God didn't give you that. What did he give you? That's what you're responsible for.
Yeah.
To
what did he
steward
give
that.
you?
What did God give you? Okay.
So it's a great equalizer. So it doesn't make the wealthy more important by having something they can just part with than the person who goes and makes something.
Our
uses their time and
concept
effort.
of status in our mind, like these people are more important, they have more power, wealth, ability, whatever than others, or maybe you'd think I'm not significant because I don't have wealth or power, ability. That whole status thing is just completely leveled out.
And in a way, the honor, the greater honor, I see it is being shown to the workers who are actually putting these things in place and use. And I imagine there were people who did both.
Doesn't it point us to the body of Christ a little bit?
Absolutely.
With the idea of the body has many members, but they're all essential no matter how insignificant they might seem.
Yep. Yeah. The body of Christ works to build the kingdom of God. We don't have to build great monuments or anything.
Tabernacle necessarily.
But I mean, a church building is a kind of testimony to the community.
That's true.
It's an open door. It's a welcoming. It's a place where service can happen. It's a place where education can happen. You can host things. You can gather together and have a greater impact than you could by yourself.
Not just how we build it, but also like how we take care of it and all
Absolutely.
that. It shows the community.
Upkeep, everything.
It shows a little bit of how we value the ideas that we uphold as a church, what we stand for in the community.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a communication tool.
Yeah. So I know we work with a wide range of different people with different talents, abilities, and skill sets. Like, is there a talent or ability that God can't use, or something so insignificant that it just is meaningless? I mean, because someone might feel that way.
Sure.
About their ability that God's given them.
I can't imagine a talent that God can't use.
Yeah. What's the lowest bar to?
I don't know. Just being a willing hands, having no specific greater than you talent. I mean, and just being willing to help those who do. I mean, being able to fetch, carry, be present, hand them things,
What do I do if I lost my ability to fetch and carry?
You can pray.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't short count prayer as a way to lift, a way to do the kingdom's work. So there's tremendous power in prayer.
In fact, it might actually be the bulk of the work.
Yeah. So I mean, if you were disabled in some way, and literally all you could do is lay in bed because whatever you can't move or what have you, you can still pray.
It might not even be a permanent condition; it might just be a season that someone's in.
Yeah.
Where that's their ministry for that. Time, whatever time of life. Yeah.
Have you ever read or seen the movie of the story of Audie Murphy?
I've heard of this name, but I have not watched the movie. No.
Yeah. Is it Audie Murphy? No, Sergeant York.
I was going to say, he's an
Sergeant
actor.
York.
Right.
Audie Murphy is an actor. Okay. But Sergeant York.
Where's he going? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a guy who took a conscientious objection to fighting, and yet had to go. And then when he did, he wound up fighting and saving a lot of lives. And so even something like a skill of fighting, seen through the eyes of saving lives rather than just winning a war or moving through things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm saving lives by eliminating this person, a machine gun nest or something. He like captured a bunch of Germans.
It's a complex balance of ethics he finds himself
Right.
in the middle of.
Yeah. And he uses his gift. His gift was shooting.
He was good at it.
And
Back in the woods of Tennessee or
wherever.
wherever.
Yeah, it was all that kind of stuff. So there's some lessons there. Even strange talents like I have some strange talents in the church. There's no other. I mean, there's very few graphic designers. Your wife is one.
Okay.
So
as far as a unique ability with colors and shapes and proportions and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That the rest of us
I've made
take for granted.
films. I've made films in the past, and so we have this little studio set up here in my office, and that's a result of having done that.
You might think to yourself, why did God give me this goofy ability? I'm never going to use it. And then all of a sudden...
And it finds a use within the congregation.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, but we've had some really cool talents crop up in the church, you know. In fact, we're talking to a few of those with respect to maybe a new building for the church.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
people
some talents are coming to the fore.
Have abilities in designing and drawing things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure. And assessing or having wisdom in the past of having doing this. You know, this is what to watch out for. This is what to look for. Those have been great.
Mm-hmm. None of it goes to waste. God uses everything He's given us. Even before we knew the Lord, he still had our course of life.
He was building
on track and handing us stuff, and we carry Him with us into the kingdom.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
that is pretty interesting. Okay, now let's see. What is motivating Israel to give in this passage? What has got them all on fire to contribute? Like
vast amounts.
Well, way more than was needed, right?
Yeah.
To the point where they had to say, "Hey, guys, hold off. Stop giving for a second."
Right? Later, but yeah.
But what motivated them to go all out like that? What was capturing their vision or their heart? Because people don't do things unless they have a reason. Most of the time, they've got some reason why they're driven to do something like that.
Yeah. I think this is the moment. You know, God sees how things are going to go and knows when the heart is open and right. And I think there's an aspect of this isn't just giving, this is redemptive giving, because they've just come through having given gold to make this golden calf.
Oh, wasting it? Yeah.
Well, in a way wasting it, but they had worshipped through their giving this God that they had made, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's almost a redemptive act for them to be giving at this point. You know, they are recognizing the mistake that they made, recognizing the problem that created, and now they have a chance to worship rightly. Where they had messed up before, now they're doing it right.
If I'm willing to waste or to give to something that doesn't matter, that's fairly meaningless, how much more willing should I be to give to something that does?
Right, that's real.
To contribute to something that really does matter.
Sure. And I think that element is in there because you see it in the context of the way the chapters are laid out and what they're coming down to.
So it's the relationship to their past that's affecting their outlook.
Yeah.
But what is the thing that does matter that they're giving to?
Yeah, a God that's present.
God's presence.
God's presence.
In His people.
You know, so they had the fake idol, and they tried to cover up the emptiness of that fake idol with a party, with debauchery, with all the things, the things, the riot that they were having around it, trying to make up for it. But here, just in the quiet, honest stillness of their heart, they feel the presence of God, and that's what they're giving to. That's what they're bringing honor to is the presence of God,
and everybody will be able to see it. Everybody, the nations will know God is in the middle of Israel.
Will know what they know.
Yeah.
We'll know what they are experiencing.
Yeah.
That's the wonder of it.
That's huge.
Sure.
So there's this big internal relationship with God bit, and then there's also that's coming out through giving, through the way that people could
where they contribute to
could
the
put it
kingdom
on
of God.
display.
Yeah. And I think that you'll find that today when you give and give rightly. There are tons of nonprofit organizations that are begging for your dollars, tons of churches begging for your dollars, and all that kind of stuff. I get that. And discerning within the Spirit that this is what is building the kingdom of the God of the Bible, that's what I'm giving to. I think there is a sense that is akin to sacrifice, to bringing your resources underneath the direction of God at that moment. It is a soul cleansing and relational action that you're doing. If you're building your kingdom, gaining your honor, or building someone else's kingdom, any of those kinds of things, then you're going to miss out on it. If it's simply duty or simply requirement, like we were talking about before.
Yeah.
But here it's something. It started from the heart. It started from relationship between you and Christ, and that's what you give
It's
out.
all about worship.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's getting you out of bed in the morning?
Yeah.
What's putting you to sleep at night? I want to be given towards that with everything I've got, and that's what's keeping them going.
All about
worship of God and His presence. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, to go back to step away from the idea of just giving being money or whatever. We already covered that it can encompass a whole range of talents and abilities that God's given us. I want to hone in on an aspect of God's inspiring ability in these people to be able to do, especially a couple notable guys.
Okay.
Gave them special ability to design and to make things for the tabernacle. But the bigger thing that I see here is that it was not just important for them to know how to do those things, but it was important for them to teach them.
Right.
So what is this really about if God's given them the ability, but then they're also teaching that ability?
Sure. And God is giving ability to the people they're teaching. And to the people they are teaching.
Okay.
That's in there too, is that the Spirit is on the other craftsmen, unnamed craftsmen, as well.
So it seems like God's not just building up a building, a physical building. He's building up people in this process too.
Yeah. In a way, making them a craftsman nation. So that they. Okay, so in this time, it was more of an agrarian society. You're growing things, you've got crops, you've got yield, and all that kind of stuff. But that's a localized thing. You're trading among your neighbors and you're feeding your neighbors. That's all very, very important. And you might have some to export. But if you were a craftsman and you were producing something that was hard to get, now you've got commerce, and now you've got goods so you've got raw material coming in, and you've got finished product going out, not just to the locals, but that's more scalable. That's something that can build a powerful, wealthy nation. And so the knowledge of Bezalel and Aholiab being divinely or inspired, taught, and then them having the Spirit of God on them to learn and grasp those concepts, now that skill is much more widespread.
So God is building up His people in a way that would have outshined their neighbors, in a sense. Here's these people in the wilderness. They don't even have crops to bring in yet. And they're constructing this thing. How in the world? It's miraculous at that level.
Wow.
For them to be able to do that. So if I've got talents and abilities, then does this imply that God uses us to share that ability with other people, to teach others, I'm thinking like in the books of Timothy where Timothy's like being instructed, the older men in the church should teach the younger men, and the women and all that. Does that cross over?
I don't know that you can take this verse and it's definitely instructive that it happened and that it was useful.
Yeah.
I don't know that that it's like always a thing.
Universal.
I think God can lead you to pass on skills, knowledge, and wisdom to the next generation or to someone else.
But this instance was special.
I think the Spirit of God upon them to teach and have Spirit-led skill in both teaching and doing, and then all the craftsmen that they're teaching also having that dispensation. I don't know if you use that word, but having the Spirit of God on them for that time. I think that's indicative of the goodness of it, the utility of it for sure, but also it's a special case of seeing how God used it for this thing.
Okay. Okay.
Certainly, you should pass on skills.
Right.
I don't think we find hidden knowledge of how the world works being a thing for God. God wants to reveal the world and reveal the inner workings of His creation. He delights in that. He designed us to discover it, so it's a good thing. I don't think he wants to hide that, hide knowledge, or cloister it in a guild or something like that. Yeah, I've always had problems with this in history.
Like a secret society of special knowledge people.
Yeah. I mean, in that there were guilds back, before the printing press or whatever. And so there was the metal workers and the woodworkers and the stonemasons and all this kind of stuff, and they revealed their secrets. To the ones that had come up through the ranks and all
alchemy
this kind of
was
stuff.
just chemistry before it was cool or whatever.
I don't know.
Sorry,
about that.
rabbit trail.
Yeah. But there was this thought of secret knowledge, and I think it really held the world back. Unnecessarily.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. You talk about like God wanting to reveal His creation to us, because I was doing a little bit of audiobook, so it doesn't quite count as reading, but almost. And the concept was that God had revealed Himself in the world. The idea we're looking for laws of nature as scientists is implying that there was a lawgiver to give those to begin with, for us to even be looking for Him in the first place.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But that's way rabbit trail. Let's just do a couple more here on wrapping up just this concept of them giving and contributing to this tabernacle. They obviously have a very mission-driven giving. They're going to give what's needed to get the mission done, whatever, to get it accomplished. When is enough? And I'll just as an example throw out some of these ministries where we're now gonna pray in our third private jet or something.
Okay, all right, yeah. I don't have to throw shade, but there's okay, a little bit, yeah. That concept of there's enough is never enough for some. I think it comes down to another principle that we see is in Proverbs and even Jesus talked about this, is count the cost. Before you go to build something, count the cost so that you can say when it's done. When is enough? When do we have enough resources?
Which they were able to do in this text.
Exactly.
They were able to say, all right, right here we have enough. We're done. Yeah. You
make things this long, that wide, and you cover it with this. That takes X number of each of these items. I think that is something that Bezalel and Aholiab could have outlined and said, okay, all right, we're going to need this much gold to cover these panels.
Right.
It's just geometry.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Let's just figure it out. And so, and they knew how to work it, and they knew how to transform what the people were donating into what they needed to do, what they needed to have for that to be possible. And they were honest enough to say, you've got enough. I made the kind of little joke. Moses, he could have been a charlatan. He could have built more tents and this tent and that tent, and let's just save this for the next project. Let's stick this.
There
over
are plenty
here.
of history books where we can find that going on.
You can see that in human nature, the temptation of wanting to keep the gravy train rolling kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, great. So they're able to take that moment of rest and reflection. They're able to go through with compiling all of what was needed for the tabernacle. at the end of the day, who gets the credit for what they accomplish? We've got Moses here.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing all this, going between and bringing down the commandments from God.
Sure.
And you've got these guys with special knowledge
Yeah.
and their abilities. And you got all these people that gave.
Yeah.
But who gets to sign the bricks and, sign the doorposts and the foundation?
There would be some recognition of the workers.
Well, they're written down.
The named people.
They're
right.
written down.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them.
But ultimately, God gets the glory. It's God's design from the beginning. It's God's coming back into relationship with them and saying, in spite of the fact that you totally messed up a week ago or whatever time frame it is.
Yeah, it does it say how long?
Not really. It's kind of like the next day or on a day, whatever. But he comes back into relationship with them and gives them the plan. And so the plan is his. The relationship is him. Because none of this, you build this whole tabernacle, it's totally worthless if it isn't filled with the presence of God. It's just a building with a bunch of stuff in it. It does nothing. So unless it has chapter 40, where it all comes together and the Spirit fills.
That's a plug for everybody to
for next week.
Next week,
yeah,
or Sunday.
Well, you've been having some car trouble recently, right?
Well, it's confession time. So,
what good is a car if it doesn't turn on?
You can put stuff in the trunk.
It's a great storage unit. Yeah. So your white van died. Well, your red car died. I gave you a white van.
Yeah, and then I killed that too.
And then that died. Yeah. And then now the red car, it's kind of iffy. You got it back to it's doing some functioning.
It's running, yeah. It's running. Got
but
few,
this morning it wouldn't run. So
Well, it did run, but it ran with issues. So
running.
Fixing some issues. Yeah.
With issues, yeah. So, but the point is, you can build a wonderful machine. You can put all these things together, but if you turn the key and nothing happens, nobody wants to take credit for that.
Wow.
And so all of this is going to come together in chapter 40.
That's really a lesson that's going to go through the whole book.
Oh yeah.
But we don't have time to unpack that.
The whole book.
But if you read your Old Testament, this problem will come up again.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool.
It is cool.
Well, I guess I'm excited to see what God's going to do in the weeks to come, because we've got some things going on with the church. You've got our mission banquet. We've got mission trips. So we're just going to give it to God and see what kind of cool things He accomplishes.
See what God does in it.
Yeah.
And if we get out of the way enough, God's glory is shown.
It's shown, yeah.
Yeah.
His presence.
Even in our, we're just lumps of clay out here doing the work that God's asked us to do, and God makes beautiful things out of that. That's
His strength is made perfect in weakness.
There it is.
The way that Paul said it.
Yeah. So even though these weak people are doing this construction project, doing this work, and resting as God has prescribed, God is the one that gets the glory because it works. It functions the way He's said for it to do.
All right.
All right.
Well, we'll look forward to chapter 40, where we can talk about the presence of God really just sealing the deal.
I'm looking forward to it. All right. Thanks for being with us on the Follow Up Podcast. We'll see you next week.